Crews suspended their search for a missing jet skier out on the Kentucky River. We're talking to friends and family who know him, who love him, and who aren't giving up hope.
New details are emerging today about a deadly crash involving a bicyclist, including a near miss of 2 other riders. We're tracking new information in the murder case.
Tracking some light showers across parts of the area, but I'm more focused on the possibility of severe weather for Tuesday. That's just ahead.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon. Hope is fading on the Kentucky River as we approach the 24-hour mark, and still no sign of a passenger who fell off the back of a jet ski.
Mike McCarty hasn't been seen since he went into the water last night in the Palisades area near the Mercer-Jessamine County line, close to his home. Search crews from 10 departments spent most of the day looking for him. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy is tracking the search in our top story at 5.
Friends say Mike McCarty went missing in this area of the Kentucky River. It's the same area that crews spent 6 hours searching. Rescue crews from close to a dozen different stations in surrounding counties worked to find Mike McCarty Monday morning. To his family's surprise and heartache, they suspended search efforts in the afternoon.
Are you telling me my son's not important enough to look for? I mean, he's got to be out there somewhere. And I understand the river conditions and that type of thing, but my son's life is important. I want him found.
Crews told McCarty's mother, Bessie Reinheimer, they used 2 different sonars to search an area much wider than originally planned. They told us they're waiting for water conditions to change and giving search dogs a chance to rest.
The only chance we have is to find him on the bottom, probably. And they're taking away the equipment that can do that.
Doug Hampton was with McCarty Sunday evening.
He fell off the back of the jet ski, and I didn't see where he landed. I didn't realize he was gone till too late.
Kentucky Fish and Wildlife leaders say that they will keep a boat in this area until they can find McCarty. In Mercer County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Family and friends say they will stay close to the area and watch rescue crews work until McCarty is found.
We are learning new disturbing details today about a deadly crash involving a bicyclist in Georgetown. 57-year-old Mark Hinkle of Lexington died Saturday. He was hit by a suspected drunk driver while riding in the Horsey 100 biking event. Hinkle was on mile 99 of 100 when he was hit. WKYT's Garrett Weimer's at the live desk with the new information in this case. Garrett?
Well, Sam, police say they found a cold beer in the cup holder when they caught up with Odilon Paz Salvador on Saturday evening. Investigators also say Paz Salvador told them he drank 6 beers and smoked marijuana before the crash that killed Hinkle. Details from an arrest citation paint a troubling picture of what exactly happened that afternoon. It happened on Lemons Mill Road, and according to this arrest citation, an officer responding to the scene passed Paz Salvador's truck. He says there was a large hole in the windshield, and he saw a person wearing reflective clothing on the truck bed cover. When the officer turned around, the truck sped off. The officer caught up with Paz Salvador, detained him, and tried to help Hinkle. Hinkle was alive at the time, but later died at UK Hospital. Witnesses told police that Paz Salvador also ran 2 bicyclists into the other lane when he hit Hinkle. Paz Salvador faces a charge of murder. He's scheduled to appear in court tomorrow at 1 o'clock. At the live desk, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. Funeral arrangements for Mark Hinkle have now been set. Visitation is Wednesday night at Millward Funeral Home on Man o' War Boulevard. A funeral mass is scheduled for Thursday morning at Cathedral of Christ the King. Grief counselors will be at Bourbon County Middle School tomorrow to help students deal with the loss of a classmate. 13-year-old Emily Sams was riding with her parents Saturday morning when they were involved in a crash on I-64 in Scott County. The teenager was thrown from the family's truck. They were on their way to her volleyball tournament in Louisville. Sam's mother, Sheila, who is the special education director for Bourbon County Schools, remains in critical condition.
The rain stayed away for most of the holiday weekend, but we do have some scattered showers out there right now. WKYT's Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking them on First Alert Defender. Chris?
Yeah, it's one of those case of the haves versus the have-nots. Those folks getting in on at least some lighter showers into parts of the Lexington metro now, and others will try to get in on the act as the evening wears on. Live First Alert Defenders showing the rather scattered nature of the stuff we are dealing with right now. Lexington metro especially with some of those lighter showers rolling on in from southwest to northeast. Now Paris, a little bit of sprinkle action. Likewise Georgetown, most of downtown Lexington down the BG Parkway. This stuff though beginning to wind down. Look what's trying to pop up ahead of that. Couple of isolated showers here from Laurel County, southern parts of Jackson County. So folks around the McKee area, down toward Manchester, Clay County, we'll have to see if these can grow into at least some rumbles of thunder over the next little bit. I suspect that is a possibility. Speaking of thunder, showers, thunderstorms coming at us from southwest to northeast. This may enter parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky over the next 2 or 3 hours. What's happening, a lot of the thunderstorm action you see across Tennessee and the deep south is interrupting that moisture supply into central and eastern Kentucky. So as these storms crank up, it's soaking up a lot of the juice that would be targeted for central and eastern Kentucky. So today's rains not really adding up to a whole heck of a lot out there. Out of Campbellsville, WKYT weather watcher Chad Marta, 71 degrees, 0.12 inches of rain for the day. So a little over 1/10 of an inch of rain into Campbellsville. If you're out and about this evening, an isolated shower thunderstorm a possibility right on through 11 o'clock with muggy upper 60s that show up. When I come back in just a few minutes, guys, we'll focus on the forecast for your Tuesday that has at least a chance for some severe thunderstorms. That's in less than 10 minutes.
Thanks, Chris. Across the country and the Commonwealth today, people paused to remember those who died fighting for our freedom.
One of the largest Memorial Day ceremonies in Kentucky is at Camp Nelson National Cemetery in Jessamine County. Our Monique Blair talked to a mother whose son paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
It's just they gave so much for us.
Each year, the last Monday in May is a time when all Americans are encouraged to stop and remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for their country.
You want to honor the military. You want to honor those who fought for our freedom, who sacrificed everything.
More than 12,000 veterans are buried at Camp Nelson in Jessamine County, and one of those soldiers is Janine Russell's son.
The first few years I was here every week. Would just come and put flowers and go. It was just like a release for me. I couldn't get it anywhere else.
Russell's son served in Iraq.
We kind of made this our event for Memorial Weekend. I mean, we usually all get together, but now we get together here.
During today's ceremony, speakers talked about the importance of Memorial Day, saying it's a time for reflecting and remembering.
And this is the greatest ride in the United States of America, is to serve your country.
For Russell, it's also a time to pray.
Our country needs to pray for our military. Our country needs to pray for these families.
In Jessamine County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
The Central Kentucky Veterans Committee plans the event at Camp Nelson every year. After nearly 10 years in the making, the Kentucky National Guard Memorial is now open. The memorial was dedicated during a ceremony this afternoon. It pays tribute to the 233 Guard soldiers and airmen who have given their lives in the line of duty since 1912. Soil from all 120 Kentucky counties is planted at this site. Coming up on WKYT News at 6, we'll hear from a mother whose son is one of those names etched on the memorial.
In our county-by-county coverage at 5, we're tracking stories from Carter, Pike, and Laurel counties. State police are investigating a murder and kidnapping in Carter County. Investigators say they were called to a home on Riverbend Way in Grayson last night. When they got there, they found 24-year-old Marcus Blake McDavid dead from a gunshot wound. State troopers say they received information the suspect had just left the home with a woman. KSP found the two at a home on Taylor Hollow Road a short time later. The woman was not hurt. State police arrested 33-year-old Freddie Darren Eric. He's charged with murder and kidnapping. In Pike County, a woman is dead after being hit by a car. It happened last night in the Freeburn community. State police say when they received the call of a woman lying in the middle of Kentucky 194, they found 30-year-old Hope Fields. Investigators say it appears she was hit by a car. State police did not give any other information about the car that hit Fields. In Laurel County, a crash ended with a boat landing on top of an SUV. It happened yesterday on Rocky Branch Road north of London. The sheriff's office says the driver told them his brakes went out on his SUV and he tried to steer into an embankment to stop. Instead, he went over the embankment, landing about 25 feet below. Deputies say the pontoon boat the man was hauling also went over the embankment, landing on the SUV. Incredibly, no injuries were reported.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
As we showed you earlier across the state, people took time today to remember the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom.
Craig Boswell is in Washington, D.C. with a look at Memorial Day ceremonies in the nation's capital.
Thousands gathered as taps played at Arlington National Cemetery. President Obama laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns and spoke about the sacrifice so many Americans have made.
Each simple stone marker, arranged in perfect military precision, signifies the cost of our blessings. It is a debt we can never fully repay.
70 years after fighting in World War II, the memories overwhelm Harry F. Miller.
It's very moving for me. In fact, I break down. I try not to, but I do.
Miller, an 87-year-old veteran of the Army and Air Force, shared a secret with us.
Lying about my age.
He was just 16 when he volunteered, and so many of those he served with did not make it home. Philly native Charles Smith did 2 tours in Vietnam. That's him in 1968. Smith comes here every year.
I got about 12 buddies on that wall that I served, high school buddies that I served with.
There was also a special tribute for women.
We saved lives. We saved a lot of lives.
265,000 women served in Vietnam. 8 are listed among the dead on the Vietnam Memorial Wall. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
The post office also paid tribute to veterans. 48 living Vietnam War veterans and Medal of Honor recipients are now featured on a stamp sheet unveiled today. More rain falling in Texas today as rescue crews continue to search for a dozen people who are still missing after flash flooding in central Texas. Torrential downpours pushed homes off their foundations and left roads underwater. Hundreds of homes were destroyed. The severe weather also pummeled Oklahoma, where 2 people, including a firefighter, were killed in flash flooding.
Authorities say several anonymous telephone threats against commercial airlines today have not been found to be credible. The threats prompted searches of at least 2 planes at Kennedy Airport in New York and nearly interrupted a 3rd flight from England. In one instance, U.S. military jets escorted an Air France flight into New York City after someone claimed a chemical weapon was on the aircraft. The FBI says no hazards were found on board and the plane was cleared.
Now it's time for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. More and more veterans are using yoga to cope with their mental and physical health. In fact, some VA centers are now holding classes for veterans. Chelsea Edwards joined one in Long Beach, California.
Marine Corps veteran Martha Huff found peace of mind through yoga at the VA Medical Center in Long Beach, California.
I have learned how to breathe and how to control the PTSD. It helps with the way I can control things. As you exhale.
Experts say yoga can help veterans reduce stress. A recent study shows the mindful practices of yoga can help with traumatic memories.
They have a mental clarity, decreased depression, anxiety, and their ability to focus.
Health experts say that yoga can also help veterans who suffer with chronic pain, both through the movements as well as through deep breathing and meditation.
The technique helped Vietnam vet and cancer survivor Steve Stikowski manage his pain from chemotherapy.
We're made aware of what our bodies are doing at particular times, and we can control that pain.
And then, of course, the upward spiral starts. You know, there's pain, you relax, there's less pain, you relax more, there's less pain.
VA nurse practitioner Peggy Black says an increasing number of veterans are turning to yoga as an alternative to prescription meds.
Many of the veterans are really tired of trying to treat their pain with pain medications.
I was taking pills every 6 hours. I'm down now to pills twice a day.
These veterans credit yoga with giving them coping skills that have changed their lives. Chelsea Edwards for CBS News, Long Beach, California.
Health experts say yoga can also improve sleep and heart health and lower cholesterol and blood pressure. 5 years after the BP oil spill on the Gulf Coast, tourism has not only recovered, it's surging, according to industry officials. Tourism officials credit the fallout from the environmental disaster as being part of the reason why. BP spent more than $230 million promoting tourism after the 2010 spill. Tourism officials say that publicity blitz boosted tourism to new levels, even as questions remain about the spill's long-term environmental impact. This weekend is the unofficial start to summer, which means more people will be spending time outside. Consumer Reports recently tested 34 sunscreens and found almost a third did not match their SPF label. The report also found that some of the sunscreens tested didn't adequately guard against UVA rays. Most dermatologists recommend using a sunscreen that delivers an SPF or sun protection factor of 30 or higher.